We might as well start with your favorite politician, the Red Beret warrior himself, the Red Power Ranger, the leader of the group himself, Julius Malema, who is having the worst year of his life. And it's only June. He is genuinely having the worst year of his life. First, Matlanga Commission, and then the drug cartels accusations. Now this, what am I talking about? Well, honestly, at this point, I'm starting to feel like the universe has a personal vendetta against this man, first of all. And I don't mean that sympathetically. I mean it factually. Because the hits just keep coming. And they're not coming from his direction. They keep coming to his direction. So here's what happened. Parliament has officially referred EFF leader, the notorious Julius Malema, to its Powers and Privileges Committee. And before you ask, yes, this is as serious as it sounds. But here's the wild part. The reason they're referring him, you ask, is for something that happened in 2021. 2021, it's 5 years ago now. This apology has been outstanding for 5 years. 5 years. Most people forget what they had for breakfast. Julius Malema forgot he owed an apology to a Supreme Court judge for half a decade. Let me give you the full backstory because this story has layers like an onion. So back in 2021, okay, Julius Malema was serving as a parliamentary commissioner during JSC interviews. That's the Judicial Service Commission, the body that interviews and recommends judges for appointment. So these are serious, formal, televised proceedings. This is not a street corner debate. This is an official government business being watched by the entire legal community. And the judge being interviewed was Supreme Court of Appeal Judge Elias Matojane. Now, here's the context you need. The EFF had previously been ordered by a court to pay former Finance Minister Trevor Manuel 5,000 Rand, no, 500,000 Rand actually in damages for defamation. I'm sure you would have fumed if it was actually 5,000 Rand. 500,000 Rand for defamation damages. The judge who made that ruling, Judge Matojane, the very same man now sitting in front of Malema, being interviewed for a judicial appointment, right? So what does Julius Malema do? Does he recuse himself from questioning this judge, given the obvious conflict of interest? Does he keep it professional and move on? Does he, at minimum, pretend to be neutral? Nope. He starts questioning Judge Matojane about what? About that very defamation ruling. Live on camera in an official JSC interview. Basically using his position as a parliamentary commissioner to confront a judge about a ruling that personally cost his party about 500,000 Rand because they had to pay Trevor Manuel for damages, verbal damages. And Judge Matojane did not flinch. He shut Malema down live on camera using a Mark Twain quote. A Mark Twain quote. And I need you to understand the level of sophisticated, intellectual, composed dismissal that is. This judge didn't raise his voice. He didn't get defensive. He didn't engage with politics. All he did was just drop a quote from a 19th century American author and basically said, "I'm not doing this with you today." The JSC then ordered Malema to apologize. Just like that. That was in 2021, by the way, everything I'm explaining. Now it's 2026, year of our Lord. The apology never came. And now Parliament has had enough, and they've referred him to the Powers and Privileges Committee, which is essentially Parliament's disciplinary body. This is the body that deals with members who abuse their position, basically. So they're the guys that deal with the politicians who take advantage of their positions. They bring Parliament into disrepute or violate parliamentary rules and privileges. So the people who do that are taken to this power and privileges place. But here's what makes this even more significant. This isn't happening in isolation. This is actually happening right now while Malema is already fighting a 5-year prison sentence on appeal from his April 2026 firearm conviction. Let me just let that sink in for a second, okay? The leader of the economic freedom fighters, this is election year, municipal election year, the leader of the EFF, South Africa's third biggest political party, currently has a 5-year prison sentence hanging over his head. And now he's got Parliament's disciplinary committee also coming for him in the same year, within weeks of each other. And he was also mentioned in the Madlanga Commission with connections to Feroz Khan, Mohammed Sayed, tobacco smugglers and drug dealers. This is not a good political position for Julius Malema, let alone a political season. And look, I've always said this, whatever your politics are, whatever your opinions may be as you watch these videos, whatever you think about the EFF's policies on their approach, the accountability has to be consistent. You cannot spend years positioning yourself as the voice of the oppressed, the fighter against corruption, the man who holds power accountable, and then all of a sudden refuse to apologize to a judge where you were completely out of line for 5 straight years. The Powers and Privileges Committee referral means this isn't going away quietly anymore either. So it's not going Malema's way. Of course, Malema would prefer all of this was handled silently, but Summer Sambit's watching, and the moment he sees something, he's going to do a YouTube video. And Parliament is done waiting. And with the combined criminal conviction on appeal and Julius Malema potentially speaking on that chair in the Madlanga Commission, Julius Malema is literally fighting on 3 fronts simultaneously, and neither of them look good for him right now. So we need to watch the space, folks. We need to watch the space because this story is nowhere near finished. Nowhere near finished.
Judge, I was reluctant to ask you about this case because somehow I'm involved, but we'll deal with it at a high level. The issue of Manuel versus the EFF quantum, which was upheld by the Supreme Court of Appeal in part, and then the quantum was referred back to oral evidence. How did you arrive at the conclusion that it was appropriate for you to award 500,000 without any of the parties leading any oral evidence? I know that Manuel is now appealing it to the Constitutional Court, but the Supreme Court of Appeal has referred that matter back to you and said there must be oral evidence led so that whatever figure you arrive at, it is on the basis of that evidence which would have been led at that level. Thank you.
You know, Mark Twain said that nothing spoils a good story than the arrival of an eyewitness. This matter is pending before the Concord, and I don't think that the Chief Justice is interested in my musings. So my simple answer to you, Mr. Malema, is that I cannot second guess the decision that is going to be made by the Constitutional Court. The matter is now out of my hand. I've said what I had to say, and if the SCA has partially upheld me, like you said, the SCA said the matter has to go for oral evidence. We don't know what the Chief Justice is going to say. So I'm constrained to really be seen to be second guessing what the decision of the Constitutional Court is going to be. I could be wrong, I could be right, I don't know.
Fair enough.
It's like we're watching the EFF fall off in real time. We're watching the death of the EFF. They are less relevant than ever.